Alright, Shalom. I would like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakabadash. Double honors to my apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone. Shalom, salutations to the brothers out there, preaching the word in sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth, delivering the message to the elect out there to run the race of salvation. I'm the brother Amon, part of the DC church, and I'm just coming out with it in transit. You know, there was something that was on mine and stuff, and I was gonna start with the first one that I thought that was impactful yesterday. That the Zaquan Monagan put in the chat. Spiritual Levi, I did a video concerning government, like or governing your body. So of course we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you know. But then there's a government. That's a government in itself. But then there's a government with the side of government. You know, governing our body. You know, going to sleep on time. You know, taking care of your character. You know, because when you start to step out of those boundaries, you step out of your processes and programs or your system. Things don't come out as right. You might be disrupted. You know, being late or feeling grumpy because something wasn't in order. And something I take for that is just like what. We're trimming our fat to become leaders, you know, become kings, you know, because we know that Esau is coming down upon us with great wrath, right? So with that, all that pressure that's coming from Esau is going to have pressure, is going to put upon the whole world. And we know that it's going to put pressure on the world. There's going to be people that's going to be looking for advice and guidance. You know, the influx, like the Shah Ganan used to bring out a lot. You know, the influx is coming. In Acts, the 2nd chapter, when they got spiritual powers, I mean, you know, as far as speaking in tongues and stuff like that, 3,000 men came in after that, and they was baptized, you know, and they was able to be sealed, you know, and that's what we're about, and that's what we're doing, you know, we're doing the necessary to get ahead and be better Israelites and serve our power better, and then also serve our nation better. You know, before I turned on the camera, I was thinking about, because he has, real quick before I say it, because he had mentioned a challenge. Challenges don't challenge changes you. You know, and I said, you ever think about a good opponent? A good opponent, man. Like you have a good, or you know, for the brothers, you know, there's a lot of brothers play basketball. You ever face a good team? And then like, man, you know, you face a good team, you want to change your strategy, you want to work on this, you want to work on that, just so you can become a better ball player, you know. And that's the same thing in this world, in this truth, you know, for us to become better Israelites, you know, to get ahead and keep grinding, you know, and go hello Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for the scriptures, because Sirach 4 and I think 28, if I'm mistaken, it says strive for the truth unto death. And the Lord shall fight for thee. And that's what we're doing, man. Even though we have some shortcomings, you know, we have our ups and downs, but yet we keep striving, man. We don't let any type of things stray our vision from looking at the Lord. You know, it says, what then? What shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai? Shall poverty, shall, travail, you know, roughly paraphrasing. What's going to separate us from this love, this passion of ours, you know, this thing of ours that, as Apostle Gabar likes to say, you know, nothing's going to be able to separate us because we're sealed. You know, Lord, will we be those sealed men? That's a part of the elect, you know, because Yahweh Shai said, none basically shall leave his hand that the Father that had given him, you know. So what that us being protected by Yahweh Shai. What we're gonna be saved, you know, Lord's will, or at least, you know, be a part of your elect. That's the whole point, you know, and obtain mercy, you know, because like I said, man, Esau coming down with great wrath, knowing he got a short time, he's applying that pressure. So you know, brothers, you know, pressure breaks pipes, you know. That's the thing, man. You know, like that change could be real difficult, but it's necessary. It's hard, but it's achievable, you know. And this thing of ours, you know, it's hard, man. A lot of people don't really change unless like something catastrophic, some type of catastrophic event happens, a near-death experience, maybe an illness, or even with their family members. You know, their mom might pass. You know, it takes to be a broken person to really change, man. But that's us all day, you know, because we catch this hell, and we know the scriptures. We know we were supposed to be kings and princes. Sometimes, you know, we can feel entitled, you know, a little, and we might get a little, you know, feel a little entitled. So you might get grumpy and antsy and stuff. But that's a part of this walk, this truth. He says, what? A broken and a contrite heart. You know, hey, because when you're broken, the Lord builds you up, man. But you got to be able to see the good in that. You got to be able to see that the Lord will get ahead and build you up, man. You know, and not stay broken, because a lot of people stay broken. They don't want to stay, you know. But you don't. The elect don't accept that. You know, we see opportunities to rise up and become more forged or more fortified. You know, become stronger. You know, so then when the influx do come, it's like, yo, how would you able to make that? Hey, man, it was only by the spirit of power, how by Shemi I was shot. That voice that was inside my head that told me to keep going. That's what made me keep going. You know, and that's how we will be able to teach them too. To keep going, man. You're gonna face frustrations, trials, and tribulations. You know, it says that in Sirach. You know, Salakia, 1 second. Second Ezra, I think the 9th chapter or the 7th chapter. Like basically, hey, you're gonna suffer, man. You know, even in Acts, it says that through much tribulation, we shall, we're gonna suffer going into the kingdom. You know, so hey, man, this suffering is for your purification. You know, trust the process. Don't rush the process, because it works, man. You know, and that's one of the things that's beautiful about this truth. It's just like to these people, it seems like we lose and we die all day long, but yet our inward man is being renewed day by day. You know, so that's why we strive and we keep pushing, regardless of what people think about us or our parents, or like, I ain't gonna, like, even brothers, man. You know, some brothers might look at you like you crazy and stuff, but it's the courage to continue. That's what counts, you know. Like, just, you know, it's inside us. We can't stop this, you know, because it's gonna keep going, man. You're gonna see the prophecies fully come to play. You're gonna fully see the race riots going down. You're gonna fully see these things, and your faith is gonna be increased, you know. And what we're gonna, like, just how they got, you know, they was able to speak in tongues. Hey, you might get that too, you know, hailing people, doing those things to that nature. Maybe not everybody's going to get it, but we'll see that and we be like, yeah, we believe, you know, even that much more. You know, so that's why on this side, you see, because I was just thinking about how the laws was written in stone, and right, and all types of miracles would happen, manna coming from the bread coming from the heavens and things of that nature, but yet Jake was still hard-headed. But with us, if we was to see that, we would be like, you know, it would be all, you know, I'm just thinking, you know, I'll speak as a man in that part, you know, seeing bread flowing from heaven, like, nah, we believe, you know, it would be, we wouldn't want to, some people, why, I tell you, you always be the ones with the tents, you know, the phone, nigga. But yeah, man, now getting back to the point, but you know, yeah, Esau's coming, because you see, yesterday I was watching Elder Malcolm's video, and he was doing a land back off of one Jake that did a video, as far as this lady, she was basically going into how Esau had screwed over many people just because they wasn't down with their program, their system. So you know what they'll do? They'll demonize them. They'll make them look bad, and then you know, or if they'll have them set up. They'll set them up, and then if they, you know, if they're not still down with the program, they'll go ahead and kill them. And that's Esau's MO. So that's why you see what? Who shall we teach knowledge to? Them that are weaned and drawn, them that are weaned from the breast and drawn from the milk. Roughly paraphrasing, you know? So that's why we do these videos to go through the midst of the city and set the marks upon the foreheads that them that sigh and cry for all abominations that be done in the midst thereof. You see these people are crying, and you see America's crumbling. They about to get the squeeze. You know, Kahana Wa used to say, you know, he says, you know, Esau's about to put the squeeze on these people. You know? I forget what I was buying the other day, and I seen like it went up like $1. I was just like, oh, I mean, it's part of the prophecy, but yet, you know, as, you know, because Satan be trying to creep up in there, like, hey, man, you know, combat that, you know, so that's why you get prayer from. You know, it's going to be hard to fast in them days, man. It's going to be mandatory fast, because you're not going to be able to eat all the time, you know, so that's why we gear up our spirits, our minds now, so when that time comes, like, we're not going to be like these people. These people going to be bugging out. Oh my God, you know, how am I gonna feed my kids, you know? But for the elects, your kids are gonna be fed, you know, they're gonna be taken care of. It was crazy when I was going over that in Genesis 50th chapter. Gotcha. I don't know the verse. I know it's towards the end though. I think it's like the second to last verse. But you know, your children will be nourished. That's what it says. You know, so be of good cheer, man. Yahweh Shai has overcome the world. You know, and how many times, it says it over and over again. Fear not, man. Fear not. You know, which is hard to do because we're in this flesh. But the more you practice it, the better that you get at it. As far as cutting Satan from entering your mind. And like I said, yesterday I was watching, even Elder Yashawamba, he was doing something on Esau. I ain't fully watching that. I was listening to it, but Malcolm was like, it just happened to be sitting in the van and shit, and yeah, it was getting good. Like I kind of didn't want to get back to work, but yeah, man, you know, they're just putting that out there because you see, Jake, man, they wanted to try to follow or mix something up when bad things occur and happen. But that's not going to be the case, man. This truth is solidified. It's sealed. Like we're sealed. Lord's will, you know, we be those sealed men. You know, we're going to be protected. But there's a doctrine that's already set in place. People are going to try to come, like, because when I was thinking about too, with the influx is going to come. Of course, you're going to have other Jakes too, murmuring and shit like that. So we're gonna have to combat that too, you know, because even with Yahweh Shai, man, a lot of individuals knew he was the Messiah, but that pride and that ego, they couldn't let it go. Like, yo, you the carpenter's son. We know your mom's and your father, but they couldn't see past that. So that's why we see things spiritually, you know, not as men see it, as the natural man, but as a spiritual man. You know, looking at it from a bigger perspective, you know, from a bird's eye view. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had, man. You know, I'm just keeping that in mind. Esau's coming down, having a great rev, tightening up, you know, because you see that, hey, the word tighten up, it keeps coming around. You know, he didn't say tighten up, but that's just the word, you know, tighten up, govern your character. You know, we're always trying to get better in each and every way possible. You know, that's a prudent man. You know, you look up the word prudent, is basically a man that sees opportunity to gain.